Welcome to Module 4 of the Leading Events That Change Lives program. This module is about preparing your body, your mind, and your spirit to speak and lead events. You're about ready to be introduced to Clare, who's one of our core faculty and client business coaches. Claire is incredible. She's an amazing yoga teacher and an incredible coach. She's been featured in Yoga Journal, and she's up to big things. And Claire's going to teach you about preparing your body and your mind and your spirit to get on stage with all of yourself. And Claire tells a beautiful story about a time that she was heartbroken over a relationship, and she showed up in leadership anyway. There's an empowerment that comes from stepping into visibility and committing to leadership even during those challenging personal transitions that we go through. And Claire talks about this beautifully. And later in the section, Claire even pretends to stumble with her words on stage, and an interesting thing happens. So enjoy watching and take this time to brainstorm for yourself the rituals that you want to use to prepare yourself to be on stage. I encourage you to create routines that inspire you and fill you up to lead your workshops. So follow along with the handout, Speaker Mindset Prep, and grab a pen. We're diving in.
So I'm about ready to bring up someone to the stage that you have all fallen more and more in love with over the last couple days, because she's blown us all away by her ability to really see us, and give us feedback on how we're showing up. This is a woman who I met last year, and the first time I heard her in a meeting pointing out what worked and what didn't work about a demonstration that we had just done, she was so articulate and so aware to what it actually takes to have a business run that, as I told you yesterday, I approached her and said, I want to hire you, but I'm going to have to ask for Cindy's permission first, because she was working for one of my friends at the time, and she's still working part-time for Cindy and Jen, but we've got her now, and I know many of you have benefited from having her. And because Claire's trained with a lot of speakers, she does know quite a bit about preparing our bodies, our minds, and our spirits to actually get up on stage. So she's going to be diving into that content. Let's give her a big round of applause. The one and the only Clare Queen.
I got it. It was not a typical Colorado morning. It was gunmetal clouds. And there was like these little flurries kind of all over the place. And I woke up, and that weather just fit me like a glove. Because that week, I had just the earth-shattering news that my beau of 2 years just didn't want to be with me anymore. My face was swollen, and I just, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and just crying. And that morning I woke up and I was like, I'm going to go do yoga. And not only am I going to go do yoga, I'm going to do yoga with my girl crush. She was in town. How awesome is that? She's like the Barbie of yoga. So I get in my car, I put in, I'm nerdy, so I can listen to my yoga music because I just can't get out of it. And so I go to the workshop, I get there, I see a friend, and she's assisting for this teacher. And I'm like, oh my God, I had the biggest crush on her. She's so amazing, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, and she's there, and I almost pee my pants. I'm just like, oh my God, I love you. And she just sat there, she connected with me, and she just wanted to know me. So it was showtime. She's like, okay, Claire, it was so nice to meet you. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. So I scurried to my little front row seat, like a little dog. And it was just so great to get into my body, right, after all this just heartbreak. And so we're sitting there, and about halfway through, she's like, you know what, I really want to show everyone this just challenging move. Where's Claire? And I'm like, where is she? She better get her ass up there. And then it hit me. She was talking about me. In front of 300 people. She makes me do this just incredibly hard, transition twice. And it just was this beautiful thing to be seen. To be seen after feeling for 2 years that I wasn't. and told that he didn't want me. And so that moment for me was just proof, actual proof that you need to be in your body, because you never know when they're going to call you. You just never know. So I want to share with you guys some of my secrets about getting ready. And, I do have the pleasure of working with a lot of speakers and doing enrollment for different coaches. And I have, one favorite. And, and I'm here. And so I watch a lot of speakers. I watch a lot of offers, and I just notice these things. And the most successful coaches, speakers that are hitting 6 and 7 figures have these commonalities. And these are things Sage uses inherently and that I want to share with you that I've seen work for speakers really well. So the first one is prepare, right? So I didn't just get up there and rock this handstand out like, oh, I'm just going to do it. Like, wish me luck. Like, I practiced. So, remember, the preparation is going to help you feel less anxious and more prepared. You're going to feel ready, right? So don't just go up there and like, I'm just going to wing it. Like, practice. Use your buddy. Use a session with Serena and I. Like go through what you're going to be giving to people on stage. It's so, don't go up there and just try to wing it. Prepare. And then remember that your nervousness keeps you real, humble, and connected, right? So every time, not just if I'm in front of a stage, in front of people, or doing a handstand in front of a whole workshop, just know every time I get into a handstand or do something that I'm really passionate about, like speaking, it's a sense of humility. Like, I take a moment and acknowledge my humility and nervousness, because that means I'm human, right? That means you're human, and when you're human, your audience will connect with you. So that nervous feeling, it's normal. Embrace it. Like, you should be feeling nervous and excited before you speak on stage. Does anybody still get, who got nervous yesterday? Yeah, I know, we're human. Welcome. And so a great trick is to focus on one friendly person, right? And, I just had this conversation with a young lady, and she's right there, Georgie, right? I mean, look at her. She is a fairy godmother. Like, you can't not look at her and just be like, she's got my back, right? She's got my back. So focus on one friendly person, or if you have a BFF, like mine's Jen, and she's back there videotaping for me, right? So have one person there that you can turn to and just connect with, right? How many people would feel really safe with one friendly person in the room, right? Awesome. And then you can even just, you're there connecting, you're there engaging. Make sure you look at one person and just, they're there to see you. Like, isn't that hard to believe? They're there to see you. Like, they want to see you, right? Awesome. Breathe. How magical is that? How magical is that? Breath. In yoga, pranayama, right? Prana is energy. Prana. And when you breathe, you're not just in a physiological sense. It makes it gets your blood flowing. It gets your circulatory system going. It helps to calm your nervous system. But breath also is such a magical thing as far as your mentality, right? Inhale, exhale, take it in, let it go. It is this balance, right? It's your body's natural metronome to keep you on pace, to keep you balanced and connected. So make sure before you step on stage, if you guys were peeking, I was like, right? Breath. Take deep, meaningful breaths. So let's just do one little breath exercise. So place your feet on the ground, and then just take your hand to your belly. And just love it up. Love it up. And so when you take a deep breath, you want to get down to first chakra, down to your belly. So try to pooch out your belly. Like, I'll not really pretty on stage, but pooch out your belly a little bit. And that's your diaphragm if you can. And so when you fill up with breath, don't fill up from the chest, fill up from the belly. So try it on. Take a deep breath. Exhale. It's just so sweet. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Soak this in. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. And some of you who close your eyes, open them. And I say that all the time. That's kind of a bit of my mantra when I breathe. And that's also my mantra for life. Inhale fully. Love fully. Exhale completely. Let go of what does not serve you. How awesome is that? You don't have to hold on to what doesn't serve you. Okay. Oh, visualize and get it. Visualize it going beautifully. All right. So, where is she? It's me. In that moment, I was so in my body. Well, also I was doing movements for a whole, hour and a half, or it seemed like that. And in my mind, well, first I blacked out. I mean, I don't even remember, what happened after. I actually, did not remember. I was like, what did I do on stage? I don't even remember. But I visualized it going beautifully. The moment I stepped up, I just knew it was going to go well. There was no other option. There was no other way for it to go other than how I visualized it. And, I like to think I'm a great, I am a great manifester. Yeah, we all are. We all are. Thanks, Connie. We all are. So you literally can create the experience you want by just visualizing it. And I'll tell you a story, and I'm looking at Willie because she reminds me about being home in Colorado. I visualized so many things about my life when I knew the place I was going to work when I first got there. I saw this great building, and I was like, I want to live there. I live there currently, been there for 2 years. And you just get to this habit of visualizing exactly how it's going to go. When you go to your speaking event, right, when you go there to rock your stage, know with full confidence that it's going to go beautifully. People are going to come there to see you. They're going to come there to sign up with you. They want to know more about you. They're going to come there to potentially be your client. Don't go there with this thought of no, I suck. That's just not going to happen. And you're in charge of that. You own that. So visualize it going beautifully. How many people are going to come up to you after, right? How strong are you going to look on stage, right? The conversations, visualize the whole thing. When I went to the workshop, I just looked at my playlist in my car, and I'm like, man, I am so boring. I'm listening to the same yoga songs over and over and over again. And something about listening to music, and for me, depending on my mood, it really will affect how I am on stage. How many people rely on music to, get their mood going? Totally, absolutely. And music is just this wonderful way, depending on what you need. I know a certain tribe that just loves to play the sexy, fun, crazy rock music, and everybody's dancing and gyrating and just getting sexy. So whatever pumps you up or cools you down, that's again about being in tune with your body, right? What do you really need? This deep listening of what's going to serve you, right? Do you need to be more calm? Are you up there, or do you need to get in here and just kind of gyrate a little bit? Find the music that really fits for you. For me, it's part of my ritual that I really admire. I even turned music on this morning to just get in the mindset. Get in your body and do a power pose. Well, how lucky was I that I was, at a yoga workshop? It was just couldn't have happened any better. But I'm gonna invite you to stand up. Stand up, get a good base to your feet. And then take your hands and just stretch them up, like as wide as you can, like a Y, and spread your fingers. And let's do some pranayama. Exhale your air. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, breath out. Feel powerful. Do it again. Take a deep breath in because you are. Exhale, breath out. So nice. With your hands up, turn to a friend and just poo. Give him a high five. So nice. Awesome. Have a seat. Have a seat. So love all the poos. So if anything, at workshops it can be hard sometimes. I get it. Did you know, if anything you take away from me talking to you, or with you, is that this is the universal sign language? If you're like lost in like Vietnam and like you have this means I'm awesome. Did you know that? I know, it's so good. This literally means I'm awesome. Like it's just like, ah. So to me, that's one of my favorite power poses because you are awesome. You are awesome. Like, you are awesome. It's true. So to me, that's one of my favorite power poses, and it's how you feel about yourself and knowing yourself translates on stage. If you freeze, if you freeze, don't freak out. It's all good. It happens. Make sure you have your notes nearby. Do you see what I just did there? You have your notes nearby, have them on note cards. They're just great tools. Like, it's okay. It's okay to freeze. It's like you're human. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. If you're using a PowerPoint, use it to keep you on track. Look at that. Have backup notes. Never rely on technology. Oh my gosh. Like, just have something concrete in front of you that you can look towards. That's just old, trustworthy, reliable, right? You know that they're there, and because who was it? Shauna, the Pandora fell apart yesterday, right? Yeah. So just rely on what you have. Have a partner exercise in your back pocket. So, Sage is so masterful at this. Turn to a friend and tell them the top thing you learned from Frances's share. And then if you freeze, that's like in your back. Oop, here you go. Right? It's just something accessible for you to have. That way you never get lost. If you do freeze, it's right there. Here you go. Just have fun with that talk. Oh, I'm freaking out. Notes, PowerPoint. I know. Have a back. And you know what? And I think the partner exercise, when I first started going to workshops, I was like, oh my God, they just know exactly what questions to ask. How did they know I wanted to share? I wanted to talk to somebody. They don't know. We don't know. We're just as lost as you are sometimes. It's part of our humanity, right? We want to be able to have something where you can interact, and we freeze. It's normal. So, where was I? Or no? It's okay to freeze. It's okay to freeze.
Well, I do just want to add in that writing down a partner question on a note card and sticking it in your back pocket and letting your assistant know, look, if anything goes down or if I start having a coughing fit or if anybody starts throwing, resistance at me on stage and I say, you know what, hold on a second, I'll be right back. You could actually hand that note card to an assistant and she could hop up and go, hey, you guys, turn to a friend and just tell them such and such. I've never used it, but my first year and a half of speaking, I never wanted to get on stage without it. And there was something about having that note card in my back pocket and having shown it to somebody in the room that was willing to hop up on stage if I needed them to, that had my whole nervous system relax and had me that much more confident to just get on stage and be myself, and if I flubbed, I flubbed. I had a backup right there. So is that helpful? Really, really helpful. Did you remember?
I did, and so this is what's so funny. This is why you always have a friend. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is being transparent. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to pretend that I forgot. I'm going to pretend that I forgot. And like my friend, my fearless leader was like, oh, I got your back.
And that was all planned.
Oh, no. Yeah, totally. It was planned, wasn't it? It was not planned. It was not planned. How awesome is that? And so here's a great example of us being transparent. Right here. I said, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to pretend that I messed up and I don't know where I'm at. And without even she saw me even kind of looking in that, and she's like, I got her. I got your back. But now we're having this, you're getting the inside look. How awesome is that? You get to see how we really work. And here's the thing about transparency. Do you want to know? It connects you. Right? You realize that we're human too, that things don't go as planned, and guess what? It can be beautiful. It can be really beautiful. So if anything you take away from today, I'm just a huge proponent of being authentic. Be yourself. Be prepared, but be prepared to be yourself. I'm going to bring our fearless leader back up.
Let's give Clare a huge round of applause.